Hello, fiber folks, fiber friends, fiber folks. I don't know what to say when I'm saying hi. So, hello. Hi there. How are you? I'm Amanda. This is the Manda Made It podcast. A little spot here to discuss my spinning, knitting, crocheting, wool processing, other various fiber crafty related things such as sewing, weaving, that kind of stuff. And this is where I talk about it and I share with you, whoever wants to watch and learn and hear about it, and then talk back to me in the comments so I'm not shouting into the abyss of the internet. Um, yeah, I'm coming to you from Westerly, Rhode Island, where I live with my husband and my two children. I am a stay-at-home mom with a small scouring business where I can scour and wash fleece for hand spinners as well as small flock farmers. Um, Coastal Wool Washing is the name of that company. You can find me on Instagram there under Coastal Wool Washing, as well as my Etsy shop where I sell the excess washed fiber that I do not have time in my life to spin. Um, so yeah, I don't necessarily have a ton to share today. I am in the middle of doing larger projects, and that's just kind of how this goes. Like, this is not going to be a channel where you're going to see a bunch of finished stuff every time. You know, I do this every 2 weeks, so you'll see significant progress, but you won't see a bunch of finished stuff unless I'm doing like really small things. So let's go on to not finished stuff. I have some whips, some fiber that I've scoured to share with you, as well as a couple of spindle acquisitions. I guess I kind of have a finished object. It's not, it feels like it, but it's not at all. It's like one step in the progress to a finished object. And that is my swatch for a Gansey that I am making for my husband. This swatch is supposed to be 8 inches tall. I had to be done. Like, I like the fabric. My husband likes the fabric. The texture and the pattern with the cables and the ladders and then the moss stitch, you know, like, this is, I should preface, or I should say, what I should say is that I am trying to do this as faithfully to historical practices as possible, I suppose. So I am following the Loft, which is a shop in Alaska. They have a whole program for making a Gansey, and there's a book, there's a little pamphlet, tells you the steps, how to swatch, what to swatch with, all kinds of things. It's very, very helpful. It's also very daunting. And so I'm just happy to be done with the swatch, because this means I can do some more math and then I can cast on my husband's sweater. Because quite frankly, this is 132 stitches around for a swatch that I need to make 8 inches tall. Like, and I get it. Big swatches are great. You get a lot of information. I need to start working on the sweater. So this swatch is done. It is in frangipani. Something like that. Falmouth Navy. And I will link the Loft down below if you care to check out their program. I think it is called the Cordova Gansey Project, which you can also search for on Google. It's been very helpful in this journey that I started on like a year ago. So that's probably the closest to a finished object that I have. The next thing I'm going to mention is just a very quick project that I was whipping up. I have a mess of yarn attached to this. This is just a little bag. And it's hand spun. It was hand spun that I had a fiber sample. I think there was Black Welsh. You know what? I'm not even pretending like I know. I don't remember. And I blended each color with blue bamboo because I didn't know what to do with it. And now I'm making a little bag, so, or a little carrying case, you know, so it's just crochet. It's a quick little thing. It was, I will have to put the name of the pattern and the designer here. It was a witch of some sort, something witch. I don't know. So anyway, it's cute. The texture is nice. It's a very fun, easy thing. It's a thick yarn. It is a quick thing. But also it's kind of like what I just bring for my daughter's karate class, and you know, just if I need something to have with me to work on because I don't have socks on the needles right now or anything else, so I just put that on. So what's next? Okay, other works in progress. So I had a plan, right, coming into March, that I was going to do this whole 8 inches on this swatch, that I was, you know, maybe going to cast on a hat or something. Honestly, I don't even remember. My notebook's up there. But I have been very, very faithfully doing a stripe a day. Pardon me while I get it. A stripe a day on my granny stripe. So yeah, I can't get it all in frame, but this is, I still have, I think 10 or 12 more balls to go. Let me see, what do I have? This is my little bucket that my mom made for me with fabric I had bought, and I've been keeping my yarn balls, and I just reach in and grab one when I need a new one. Yeah, I think I have 11, 12 more days. What's today? Yeah, that makes sense. 12 more days to do, and then I will have all of my mini skeins worked into this, and then I can just do a border. That will be my plan for the end of this month and the beginning of next, is to, you know, get the border done on this and be done with it. It is gonna end up like make more sense to be used like this. But whatever. Oh, that's better. I can show you all the colors like that. So anyway, I'm just really enjoying it. It's fun. I really am enjoying the colorfulness of this and the very soothing, relaxing nature of it. You know, it does not require me to think, and I can do it around my kids. So yeah, hopefully this should be, I mean, barring any huge things, it should be done by, you know, the 29th with the, I wonder if I could get it done by the end of the month. I think it depends. We'll have to see. We'll have to see. I'm not making any promises. Not that you guys care. It doesn't matter to you if I finish my blanket. So I then did have one cast on that was not planned really at all, like in any way, shape, or form. As I've mentioned before, I'm in the Jillian Eve Discord server through her Patreon, and they're kind of sprouted up this impromptu mal around the wisdom of the moon shawl, which I'll put a picture somewhere. And I don't remember who it's by. Again, I'll put the information on the screen and then link things down below. I do believe the patterns are only available on Ravelry though. But I cast it on, like, I didn't think this through. One, I just shopped my stash, and I'm very happy to have shopped my stash. You know, it's gonna work. Like, I'm really knitting this just because I want to knit it, not because I want the thing, I guess. So it's got these fun bits in it that I haven't done in knitting before. The main color is Cascade Heritage, like blood orange, I think. Then this second color is actually from Ken Yarns. He is a dyer based out of Rhode Island. And I I bought this a couple of years ago to make my first pair of DK weight socks. And they came out great, except I used, like, I didn't know really what I was doing. And I used a non-superwash yarn for the toes, heels, and cuffs of those socks. And they promptly felted into a huge mess and got holes. So I ripped everything out. I just was like, okay, I'm over it. So I'm happy to be able to use this in this shawl. And then the third color is this, which was an assigned pooling big old skein that I had gotten at the New England Fiber Festival in the fall. And I did start the it's a shawl, sign pooling shawl. Calypso? Calico, the Calico Shawl by Deb Barker, maybe? I started it. I love how it looks. I love how the yarn looks. I love how the pattern looks. I don't like doing it. So I was just like, I'm not going to work on this because I don't like doing it. So I ripped it out. And now I have a use for this yarn. I am holding it double because that is fingering. And actually I'm holding the Cascade Heritage, the main color, double as well. The only thing with this that I didn't think through was that this is a shawl. It's a flat item. And there is a 21 row colorwork section with the phases of the moon on it. But you have to purl the colorwork because you have to work back and forth. And I've never done that before. I don't mind purling. Purling doesn't bother me at all. Like, I know a lot of people don't like it, but purling isn't something that really, like, grinds my gears or anything, you know? Purling and colorwork, however, does. It pisses me off. It's annoying. I feel like I can't do it. I feel like all of my fingers are, like, not even thumbs. Like, I feel like they're my big toes. Like, they're so useless in this. It feels like they can't figure out what they're doing. And I just... But I have gotten through 4 rows of the chart so far, which means I have less than 20 to go. And it is a chance to learn something and to try a different technique that I haven't done before. So, I mean, I'll show you the float side, but like, I was twisting stitches. I don't know. I think I'm figuring it out. Like, I know enough to figure out what I've done wrong to fix it. So, but I am excited for this. I am happy because there are I would say quite a few of us in this group knitting it. You know, and there's a variety of color choices that people have made, and you know, so it is interesting. Some people are spinning their own yarn for it. I wanted to not do that. So I just cast on with some yarn I had in stash, and that has made me happy. Yeah, so that's really what I've been working on. It takes me at least an hour a day to do the stripe on the blanket, which is actually 3 rows because I do 2 rows of the mini skein and then a row of the main color. So it does take me at least an hour to do that. And then once I get that done, that's when I can work on other things. And I've got kids, I've got stuff, so it doesn't always work out that I get to do a lot of work on other stuff. But it is going to be getting warmer, and so you know, my desire to work on large things is probably going to wane a little bit. Maybe. We'll see. I'm making no promises. No promises. The next thing that I want to show is this delightful, this is so, like, I can't, okay. So I have mentioned I have a small scouring business for small flocks and hand spinners who have raw fleece that they want washed. I can do some preparing with bats and stuff, but like I don't have the equipment. I'm not a mill, so I don't have the equipment to do like a lot at once. So I got contacted by Amy of the Southeastern New England Fiber Shed, who I've been talking with for a while now. And Peterson Shepherds up in Maine, Massachusetts, sorry. They have a flock of meat sheep, of Cheviots, that they have been doing, just giving their wool away to gardeners, which is fine. That's a totally fine and valid way to deal with your wool. This stuff. So anyway, I was asked if I could wash their wool, so that we could see what they could do with it. Now, when I tell you that the last 3 fleeces I worked with were from farmers who do not have sheep for hand spinners, I was a little scared about taking this on because it kind of broke my spirit a little bit. Those 3 fleeces, they were hard to work with. One of them ended up getting fully composted because it was just not usable. It was difficult. It was not a fun experience for me. I actually hadn't done any fleece since I finished the last one because I was just so like, okay, I need a break from this. And then I went and picked this fleece up. 42 pounds of fleece. So I have 42 pounds, and this is the sample wash. I did a 1.5 pound sample wash just to see what I was working with. And this is Cheviot? I don't remember. I've heard it said both ways. But, like, I'm going to take this off my lap so I can just, like, lean in and show a little bit better. I should have brought some of the raw stuff down, too. But, like, look at that crown. It is a fluffy French fry. And, like, it's sound. Now, this fleece is in my opinion, superb condition for sheep that are bred for their meat and kept for their meat on pasture. They are not coated. They are not like prepared in any special way for hand spinning. Like this is a complete and total surprise to me. This fleece is gorgeous. Amy went up there and brought a couple of her mom and another artist who makes baby clothes and things like that, baby toys and stuff. And they skirted the fleeces. The fleece is really well skirted, which is such a big plus. But even aside from that, it is gorgeous fleece. Like, it's just not that dirty at all. Like, and the VM level is low in my opinion. I have seen a high VM level at this point, and this is not that. This is gorgeous. And if you are a shepherd, a farmer, whatever, you have pets, you have sheep for pets, and you don't know what to do with that wool, call me. Call somebody. Fossil Fibers in Michigan. They work with farms to help them figure out what they can do with their wool, how to manage it better. Like there is a place that this wool can be used. I don't know what their end decision is going to be with this. This would work for hand spinners as far as I'm concerned. But there are so many other fiber crafts people out there, right? Like, I mean, felters and people who make quilts and clothing. I mean, I just don't see why this has to be chucked or thrown away or used only for mulch. I'm not a quilter, but like, what do quilters think of using wool batting? Like, what does that float your boat? Does that present an issue? How can we get this to work where these small farms, shepherds, even pet owners can have a reasonable expectation to have this resource that they can gain an income, and they can add a sustainable, renewable resource out into the market somehow. There has to be a way. And if you're hiding good stuff like this, call me. Go on my website, coastalwoolwashing.com. If you don't know if your wool is good and you are anywhere within the New England area, call my ass and I will come check and I will see what you have. And we will work through this, because like this will surprise the hell out of me. And I just like going down the whole route of sustainability and fast fashion and all of that stuff. Like, I know that not everybody is can and wants to be able to make their own clothes or anything like that. But there are people who want to make clothes for other people, you know? So why can't we get them the materials to do that? And why can't everybody get paid what they're worth for doing these things? I understand accessibility is an issue in a lot of areas for a lot of things, but we have to start somewhere, right? Like, we have to make changes somehow, somewhere, you know? Even if it's as simple as knitting a hat from yarn that your neighbor made or something for your kids to wear that winter. I don't know. I have like pipe dreams. I know they're pipe dreams of, you know, regional specific goods going to, you know, I want that network and that pipeline to stay within the region so that people can have stuff that is locally made to them. But it's not like I had my locally sourced this and that. No, like, you just, like, that's just where you get your stuff. Going off on a tangent. I'm gonna blame Amy for this. I'm gonna blame Amy for this. But anyhow, I don't know. Tell me what you think about this idea of fiber being used for things other than hand spinning, like, and other than mulch. Like, what other, I know wool can be made into construction materials, but it does have to have a certain level of processing done to it in order for that to happen. You know, is there a way for us to do this on a small, local, regional level? You know, how do we work this into our lives? I mean, if you're watching this, then you make things by hand, most likely. And most likely you make things by hand with fiber. And there has to be some ideas out there. Like, and if you're a farmer, like, let us help you. Let's work together. I want to make this happen. Apparently, at 40, I've found my life's passion, and that is to somehow get wool into the mainstream regional consciousness somehow. Okay, I'm done with that now. The last thing I am going to share with you all is a couple of spindles I got. I don't think I shared these. My goddess? Did I share the goddess spindle? It's a poppy spindle, and this is the rabbit. And Tashi at Tangles and Starlight was kind enough to point me in the direction of somebody who had these available, because she had bought all of the goddess spindles that were available. So thanks, Tashi, for sharing the wealth. And yeah, so I did do a little bit of spinning on them, and I think I need a different fiber, and I need to do a little, like, one-on-one, like, no distraction spinning with these. But they are gorgeous. Like, it's not gonna focus while my eyes are in the... Okay, my eyes are still... Whatever. I don't do this. Anywho. So, those are my two spindles. Yeah. Getting to be garden planting time, garden planning time, has kind of already, depending on where you are, um, you know, there's stuff is blooming, stuff is budding. So if you are doing a garden plan, I'd be interested to hear what that might be. Are you growing flax? Are you doing any dye plant gardening? Food gardening is always good too. Culinary gardening. I will be putting in a small herb garden this year and a couple of tomato plants. There was a time where I had a very large garden that produced a lot of food and that I spent a lot of time in. And then I developed postpartum depression and I ripped it out in a fit of that. And I think a couple years later, I'm now ready to start getting into it again. So I'm excited to see where this goes and develops. And yeah, that's kind of it. Not a lot to talk about today, other than, Wull networking. But yeah, let me know how you're doing. Let me know what you're working on. And come say hi to me on Instagram. And I will catch up with you guys in a couple weeks. Okay? I hope you have a wonderful day. Take care of yourselves and each other. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye.